Welcome back to another Ncut movie review. Today we have The Meg 2, The Trench, directed by Ben Wheatley, who has directed movies such as Kill List, Rebecca, High Rise, and Free Fire. I have literally no idea about these movies or never watched them, so clearly I have zero idea that if this guy can even direct or if he's even good at directing. But by watching The Meg 2, I'm going to say no. Okay, but it's probably not him, it's probably the script writers and all these type of things, because the script was horrible, had nothing to do with any type of dialogue or character development. And you kind of, I know you got to expect these things when you go into movies like The Meg, because they're just supposed to be like fun rip-off movies and you're just supposed to watch it there for the action. I'm even complaining about the goddamn action. There was nothing happening. There was a couple of sharks here and there, a couple of jump scares that I didn't even flinch at. The shark is supposed to cause fear, right? This is what we've been brought up to know. Anyone who has watched Jaws, anyone who was brought up during that timeline, you understand that the fear of God was in you when you were watching Jaws, because you wouldn't, anywhere near water, you didn't want to be there, okay? Today I still hate beaches because of watching Jaws. I watched The Meg, makes you want to go back to the beaches. There's nothing in the water that can harm me. Who gives you, if I'm the main character, it's fine. I can kick Megalodon in its teeth and it's fine. It won't eat me. I can click a button, a sound will pop off in the back. It won't eat me. This movie had nothing, brought nothing, was nothing. My opinion, don't go watch it. You don't need to. Wait for it to come out in DVD. It's the number one was way better. And if I'm going by watching John, what's his name? John Turtle. Oh, I'm so sorry, I forgot his last name. He was the first director of The Meg, and he did a much better job. Now, either it's not just him, it has to be the script writers, it has to be everyone that production that goes into it. It's not just him, I understand this, but they're the face of it. They oversee majority of it. They need to figure out what went wrong and why they took the same direction. I'm assuming it was director and there was a whole bunch of things that came into just throwing this movie on the screen because people wanted to watch a number two, just because it's fun, it's entertaining. This was maybe entertaining for 20 minutes total out of the hour and a bit movie it was. And I have zero idea how it is already made $145 million in the box office. It was already $129 million to make, and it's already hit $145 million in the box office, and it's opening weekend. I can't believe this. People clearly were going to expect the first movie again, which we would have much rather than have this other shit that popped up on the screen. I've seen other content creators already say some things about it as well, of how disappointing it was, how upsetting it was. The fact that Jason Statham used the word chum should be illegal. That should be sacrilegious. That's how bad it is. I'm not even religious, and it should be sacrilegious. Okay? Jason Statham should not be using words like that. I don't care if he's the greatest actor of all time, because I know he's actually quite a good actor, and not just apart from this dog shit film, which you don't really give him much credit for of how good he is as an actor. He does his own stunts, all these type of things. The movie, it's as a whole, right? I would never go watch it if I knew what I've seen on screen. I am warning you, okay? I want in the comments thank yous, okay? Thank yous already. I'm saving you experiences. I'm saving you the vibes. You wait until that shit comes out on your DVD on DVD. No one watches that, which it shouldn't be. That's exactly where it should stay, or it should be on streaming. Okay, wait for it to come out. If you listen to me, I'll save you an hour and a half. I save it. You're welcome. The main antagonist of this movie was one of the friends, and it's a new chick who popped into this movie. I don't get how she can say that the windows that are underwater there are Meg-proof, and then the Meg just busts through and eats her. Now, she definitely deserved that death. Thank God she died like that, because she's a piece of shit. And I'm glad she died like that. And it obviously got to give her credit because of how much I didn't like her. But also what I didn't like is her acting. Her acting was, oh my God. It was like they took her off the street and said, hey, we have a movie for you. Do you want to just jump in it? You're going to have a couple of talking lines. It's fine. You just listen. You can just come in here, say a few words. You're going to get eaten. You're going to be seen as the main bad guy. But really the main bad guy is a new person who is a oligarch somewhere in China she was hiding somewhere. Whoever this new company was, no idea why they even put that into the screen or that into the script. Weird. The good thing that they did is they addressed that the last co-star in the first Meg wasn't there and she died. Now, obviously, they have to address that if she's not showing in the film. She's one of the main characters, for God's sake. Don't know why. I actually haven't looked into it, why she left, or, I mean, good thing she did. Statham should have done the same thing, but I'm glad he still was in there, because I wouldn't have probably gone and watched the movie if he wasn't, unless it was a similar good actor, which I don't even know off the top of my head who could even fill those shoes for the Meg. But I want the Meg not to follow this funny concept, and I want to see blood. I want to see horror and gore. Put me into fear mode. I want to be in fight or flight the entire time. Otherwise, what am I doing at the film? What, to laugh at a shark? I can do that at SeaWorld. I don't need to be in the movie theater doing the same thing. Make me fearful. I want to feel like I've been chucked in the water and this thing's underneath me, right? I want to have thalassophobia. That's how scared I want to be. Why don't they just go down the horror scene? Is it because they don't think there's money in it? You would make more money. It would be less to produce and more on top of the box office. It makes no sense who thinks of these things. I don't know why. What, because I have to appeal to kids? Who gives a shit? You know? Make it appeal to people. Like, when I was a kid and I watched Jaws, I was horrified, okay? Horrified of Jaws. The Meg in that was laughable. Jaws was smaller and could still beat the shit out of the Meg. The Megs, there's three of them, by the way, kills multiple randoms just sitting just chilling on the beach, and then they have the audacity to kill all of them off pretty easily. There really wasn't much struggle. At least the first one was struggled. It had a couple back and forth, had a couple of close calls. This was none of that. I felt more fearful in the first one. You know what I'm fearing right now? They're going to make a third. That's going to be the most fearful thing I'm projecting out to manifesting in the world right now. Don't do that. Now, the score totality of what I'm giving this is a goddamn 19%. I'm not even going to give Rotten Tomatoes 18. I'm going to give it a little bit better of 19. Actually, you know what? They did do one thing right, was when they were walking outside of the ship and that blew up, that they were walking, that's the only time I actually felt like there was a movie manifesting there. And nothing really happened. It only lasted for maybe 30 minutes. So watch this movie for 30 minutes and then turn it off, because you've done it all. They've done it all. They put their hard blood, sweat and tears in the first 30 minutes, and then it went to shite at the end. The movie that they've done is, why did they make DJ some comic relief badass guy that just somehow pulls all the bitches at the end? What was that? What was that? That guy could have... He had, like, literally the quickest story arc and the character building and the character arc all wrapped up in 20 minutes of this movie. This guy was a nerd who couldn't swim, who couldn't fight, who was scared the entire film, and went to becoming main character vibes. Man was giving out that he was the character. Why Statham number one? Put DJ there. Why? He had the Glock. He had the rubbers. Man had the what else did he have in his bag? Man had the Louis V bag on too. Man was dripped. Man knew how to fight. Man knew how to swim. Man knew tactical deceptions and directions, yeah? Man knew what was up in this film. All in 20 minutes. And says he's been, and then by clarifying it, says he's been training for the past years because he felt like what a bullshit excuse. You take longer for that. Look at Statham. Statham's legitimately a martial artist, and he didn't do half the shit that DJ did. If these guys listen to this, change it. Make a third and fucking change it. I want to see horror underneath that goddamn title. Horror sci-fi, please. This movie is getting a 22% from me. I'm going to be nice, 22%. And you guys don't need to go see it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Peace, we out, and cut.